What's going on, guys? It's me, Shukashu. We are back with another umamusume video. This video, we are going to be doing the dirt part of the event, of the Yoyoi event. Uh, that pretty much nearly finishes it off. I think after you do all that, it unlocks like I think it's just called like a free part of it where you can do anything. I think that's the case. I'm not too sure. But as you guys saw, I was training. We're planning to train Furioso for today's video. Oh, there's two more. I don't know what the blue one is. Regardless, I mean, we'll still pretty much finish that out. But I think I'll just do the other two on my own time, and then tomorrow, it's long distance for the CM, right? So if it's a long distance, then we'll start our long distance training tomorrow. And then actually I should also check on Wua, because I believe Wua's updating soon. Wua will be updating tonight. So that means tomorrow will most likely be tomorrow, along with Uma and Zenless. I think in Zenless I'll do both the Deadly Assault and Shield Defense, because I didn't do it last week. I didn't do it last week because obviously I was out in Anime Expo, and yeah. But before I go talk about more stuff, this is the setup we're using. It's pretty much just the leader setup that I've been running, except we are borrowing the Dodo card again, using my Tazuna friend card, Teo, Almond Eye speed card, Forever Young Wise, and Tomamo power. And since we're doing dirt, I'll be able to get the dirt skills, I assume, from Forever Young. I assume. But with that being said, guys, if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, link is down in the description down below. And with that being said, well, let's just get the run started. Is there anything else for me to mention? Yesterday I did do all the rest of the Woo stuff I needed to do. And then I started on some Starville events, just getting it started. Genshin's current event, the event story with Sandrone, that one is kind of confusing me, because there are mini games in this set event, but only currently I'm able to do one of them. Usually all three of them gets released, or they'll be like, oh yeah, basically all three of them would get opened up after you do part of the story. But I'm here like, maybe I just gotta do this whole thing before the other two unlocks, and I haven't tried it because all the other games are taking priority right now. I know I need to get I also did the Zenless event that was ending in, like, I guess by now 3 days. But I do need to get Star Rail's not only story out of the way, but also the events, because that one's ending in a few days. Then the same could be said with Enfield. Honestly, I would have caught up last week to a lot of these, or last weekend, if I wasn't at Anime Expo, but I was. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And I think Norma did get released yesterday morning also, so that means the next banner, 3.1 for Zenless, Remiel. Obviously gonna be pulling for, and after looking up on what Norma stuff No need to pull her. That's my conclusion. I feel like I have no need on pulling for Norma, whether or not I did end up liking her more because of the story. So, sorry, Norma. I won't be pulling for you. I'll be pulling for Remiel and probably most likely Sigrid. Probably most likely. Wuwa obviously pulling for Yang Yang. It's gonna be a little bit of a struggle since you know what happened in the Cyberpunk collab. NTE, I already told you all about Shinku, so the next banner is obviously Eroy. And then Enfield, well, we all know 1.4 is that's what we're waiting for with Li Jian. But regardless, ooh, 12%. Do I trust the 12% or the 15%? Obviously, I should trust the 12%, but I don't trust no percent. I don't trust no percent. Because even single digits won't let me. I guess I should have just said Arcane instead of Legion for those who don't know. I guess. Let's rest over here. And is there anything else to mention? Worth mentioning, at the very least. No? Probably not. Probably not. Maybe I'll just do the speed because of the ingredients. But other than that, I think I can just go over the comments. Because there's nothing really else for me to talk about. And honestly, I think I'm making this decision right now. I know I said I was going to post a global video. Because Thursdays normally when I post global videos. But with the CM coming up next week, I think because I haven't touched the global in a while, I think I kind of just want to focus on it on the side. Giving it a little bit of more attention since I haven't touched it in a week, essentially. So I think on the side, one, I won't post global today. I'll just focus on it, my own, and try to see if I can get some short distance Umas ready for next week's CM, because it should be next week. Yeah, if anything, I'll just start posting in global again on Tuesday, because then that'll be the last day before the CM on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, which if I assume that the CM starts on Wednesday, then on Thursday I can post day one, round one, and then from there we'll just continue how it was. I guess Thursday day one, round one, Friday day two, round one, and then Monday will be the finals. Maybe I'll post Sunday as a little like probably as a little update for I was gonna say group B, assuming I'll be group B. But let's just say for like group B round, or just basically round two. Or I post round one day one on Thursday, right? And then I post round one day two on Friday, because I believe that is when it is. That way we'll at least get 1 day one and or 1 round 1 and 1 round 2 for global. And then, but which would mean that I would post the global video on Friday a little bit later that day, because I believe for me the CM updates around 3 p.m., 2 p.m. I think. It's around that time for sure. So we'll see. We shall see how that goes. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'll just post JP again today. Heck, maybe I'll even do Deadly Assault today and just do, and so I can do a shield defense tomorrow by itself. That way I don't have to do the whole thing all together. Or maybe I can just do it all together. Make it a Deadly Assault / shield defense video, so it'll be a slightly longer Zenless video. Then that's not story related. Because obviously, story related videos are going to be long. Maybe. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. Combining both Deadly Assault and shield defense. Since I wasn't able to do the other one last week. Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think that would be a bad idea. And then obviously I would also have to post Wua, because Yang Yang gets released tonight, like I mentioned earlier. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I should be posting. Or I guess I should ask you guys this now, since I haven't recorded it yet. I know I didn't post anything from 1.0 and 1.1, but do you guys want me to start posting NT stuff? But basically what I've been doing, like story and banners and all that. Like, yeah, I didn't post the banner pull for Shinku because obviously it was a 110 pull, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway as a video. So do you guys want to see an NT recording? As it become part of a channel slowly? Well, I guess not really slowly, because after that video, you won't really see another video until the Roy banner. Or do you want me to just keep it the way it is right now and just wait for the next game, and I'll just start posting the next game that gets released, that I'll be playing, whether that'll be Ananta, Silver Palace, Azure Promelia, whatever it is. Because I don't mind having some games that I keep on the background, obviously. Otherwise, I'd be posting like all the gacha games I play. But yeah, if you want to see NT, let me know. If not, then I'll just keep it to myself and I'll just update you guys on whatever happens. On whatever happens. So yeah. But other than that, I don't think there's much for me to talk about anymore. I mean, Uma, I'm just pretty much still just getting myself back into it after the whole like 5 days of not playing for a while. Yeah, for a while. But honestly, I'm doing fine. And Uma, I mean, it's like I said, I pretty much over time since then, I've pretty much become more casual in this game. I've already admitted this, so it's nothing really. Only because all the other games are taking more priority over Uma. It's not that I don't like Uma. It's just the other games, in my opinion, would require more of my attention if I were to focus on it. So, while Uma is the easily can multitask while playing the game type of deal. So yeah. But other than that, I think this would be an okay time to start going over the comments since there's actually not that many comments as the last couple videos. So maybe I'll be able to take a little bit more time when responding. Or if I finish sooner, maybe this video will be less than an hour. Who knows? Who knows? But starting off with the comments, first one we'll be going over is from Uma JP Enjoyer, quote unquote. Maybe Uma Global Enjoyer as well, you know, because it's kind of, you know, kind of weird that there's an Uma JP and an Uma Global Enjoyer. No, it's not. It's not weird, but you know, it's just weird because the last time was Uma Global Enjoyer had comment in a JP video, which and then disappeared. Then Uma JP Enjoyer reappeared and now is back. So the real question is, Uma JP Enjoyer, are you the same person as Uma Global Enjoyer, or did someone take inspiration of your name and made a global account of or a YouTube account based off global? But we'll see. We'll see. We get a response. Guts and wisdom seems to be a bit lacking. Yes, I believe I think I said that at the end of the run because I believe guts and wise were around 13 to 1400, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, RNG towards wise and guts weren't truly the best. So it is what it is. Asta responds and says, "Look who it is. It's Uma JP Enjoyer." But Nova says it's Uma Global Enjoyer. Seems like me and Nova are pretty much thinking the same thing. Since we saw the Uma Global Enjoyer, we're thinking, is he the same person as Uma JP Enjoyer? Because it's not that hard to swap off your accounts in on YouTube, especially if you're logged in both already. Right now, I can literally switch accounts to like it's weird because the same email it does have the actual channel account and then just the normal watching account. So I could swap to my normal watching account or go to my older YouTube accounts where I used to watch YouTube videos on with my older Gmail accounts that I still use, but it's just before I made obviously a YouTube channel. But I don't know. I don't know if that's really the same person or not, Nova. We'll see if he admits it or tells us it's either him or not. We'll find out one day or maybe never. Maybe never. But other than that, thank you, Uma JP Enjoyer, for the comment, and Asta Nova for replying to the comment. Next comment is from Asta. An NT 1.2 story kinda weird because an adventure RPG video game fits into a gacha game in a somewhat strange way. I wouldn't think so. Let's just take a JRPG game in general. Persona would be the perfect example, being a JRPG game. That one, they literally, what it feels like, kept the same style and all that of Persona 5 or whatever, Persona in general, or just Persona 5 because it is Persona 5. But just gave it the whole gotcha feeling, so to speak. It just gave it that whole gotcha feel. But if I'm gonna be honest, if they just remove the gotcha element and just release everything as a single game, that's basically That is basically what the Persona RPG or Persona gacha game is. It's basically what could have been a solo game on its own. With all the other stuff, like events and all that, could have probably just been DLC or and if something. So I wouldn't be surprised if an adventure RPG game would fit into a gacha game. Because we can go with, well, we can take away like the anime JRPG aspect and go with more like a normal style looking game. So more like, I guess we'll go with like Skyrim or on those terms. I could see it somehow making it into a gacha game. I could see it. Like, literally, it's just the same thing. You just basically time gate everything. If you want to... Obviously, I would think if you want to start off, you would want to... They would let you pick the role you want, but if... Other than that, you pull for everything else. Yeah, I could see a lot of... I mean, there's a lot of other games, style of gacha games out there that are fairly out of the box, or you wouldn't imagine them being gacha games, but you see them anyway, so... Is it really surprising to see a adventure RPG game turn into a gacha game? I wouldn't think so, if I'm gonna be honest. If I'm gonna be honest. The only reason why I went with more of a JRPG example is because, well, we are playing an anime game, essentially, so that's pretty much why. But yeah, I mean, another example would be the SAO games. They have so many characters you can swap between from that. They could have easily made a gacha game out of all those SAO open world games. So yeah, I'm gonna stand by it. I don't think it's surprising, or that it's fitting into a gacha game in some weird way. Nova says we do need something fresh once in a while. Honestly, NCE has been that breath of fresh air because it did have different stuff and all that. Although obviously there were similarities, obviously, but just it being the way it is feels different compared to like Wuwa and all that, even though with the small similarities, obviously. Eunice says it's in line with the dragon character introduction and more stuffs to do in NTE. I still wouldn't know because, like I said, I haven't started the story, which I was planning to do this weekend. But if you guys do want me to start posting NTE, like the story and at least my banner pulls like I've done for Zenless and Wuwa, let me know. And I'll start posting from the story onwards for NT. If not, well, it's not gonna bother me because then, like I said, I'll just focus on the other games. Most likely Silver Palace I'll start playing on my channel because after playing that demo and seeing how it is, whew, I do want to play Silver Palace for the channel, whether or not they fix the gacha. Whether or not they fix the gacha. Only because outside of the gacha, because I didn't experience it. Obviously, I played the demo. Just whatever I experienced was already good enough for me to like the game. Really like the game. Don't know if I'll play Azure Primelia, but it does look like a really nice game. On the channel, I meant to say. I will play it. But we'll see. We'll see what the future holds. Whether or not I'll post NT or not, or whatever other future games. Whatever other future games. But thank you, Asta, for the comment, and Nova and Eugen for replying. Next comment is gonna be from Eugen, and it says, I can't believe that I don't have beliefs, so no train along video for me. Auto train for now. I believe that you wouldn't have beliefs since with all these other characters that has been released already, so I think you're fine. The Scratch Lottery is the Meow Meow event that you go for to stand and buy those tickets, magazine, something, and check your luck. I actually did check that out. I did actually check that out. I was like, every time you buy a book, you get a scratch. I guess a ticket. To see if you could win at least the most expensive one. If you do the 50k one, you have a chance to win 2.5 mil. Which honestly, I tried, and it didn't go well. It definitely didn't go well, if I'm gonna be honest. Well, I just mentioned that race pity. It's not that I'm sad about it, because not every day is Christmas, and I only pulled 20 for chaos, which I believe is really good to use. But it's like I said, what if that could have been Shinku instead of chaos? It's just the what ifs, you know? Especially if you weren't really trying to pull for said chaos character. That's just the whole point of it. The whole point of it is like there's no need to increase your pity when the character's already guaranteed. Is the main thing here that I've been trying to, you know. Will it refresh to 2? I actually never tried that. Does it refresh to 2 by itself? Because I could just use 2 of these. But it's just though Shinku have a good impression or favorite regardless meta or not, she is not giving me a must pull or die to pull. But still, I get her regardless of pity and will think of Iroi later on. Well, no, Flaunt easy pull is always just like, or just like a normal day. How he not show off on his perspective. I mean, I personally don't think Nova is showing off because we literally share our pulls. So I wouldn't know how his pulls went if he wouldn't tell me. So I don't see it as showing off. I see that as a you problem, Eugen, if that's how you see it, because obviously we all played a game. So if I'm gonna say how my pulls went, then obviously Nova's gonna say how his pulls went and how your pulls went, which you did. So what's the difference between you saying your pulls and Nova saying his pulls in a comment? Like yesterday. What's the difference? To me, I'm just seeing an update from you guys saying how you guys' pull went. But to you, it seems like when Nova comments about it, it seems a little different. It seems a little different, even though he's just doing what you're doing. Just letting me know how the pulls are going. You mind explaining that, Eugen? Because it doesn't make sense to me that it would bother you that he shares his pulls when you're just doing the same thing. He's not essentially showing off. He's essentially just letting us know how his pulls went. So I don't think he's flaunting or anything. It's just how his account just decided to go. His account decided to be like, here you go. You get what did he say? Two copies in 40 pulls. You can't help it if it's also guaranteed, right? It just so happened. Well, actually, my question, I guess he kept pulling for the skin gotchas, but other than that, I don't think he's showing off or flaunting if he's just doing what you're doing to just let us know how your pulls went, or let me know how your pulls went. So I'm gonna let that be a you issue. So are you going to get bike? I believe you have decent amount of funds and annual lift after the 10th pull. I'm still on the wait and see approach. I'm pretty sure I said in yesterday's video that I pulled for the bike. I literally did what Nova said in yesterday, what he said in one of his comments yesterday, where he was planning to do the first half with Fawns and the second half with Annulith, which I did. Since the Annulith I saved up was pretty much good. A good amount, since I had already been on pity for Shinku, so I only had 1 10-pull use for her, which was used with the currency that was saved up. So no issues there. But even if I didn't have to use the Annulith, I feel like I could have just used all my Fawns, but that would have been crazy. That would have been crazy because it did use a good amount of Fawns already. Nova says NT is easy show off. Is the Uma show off that we are competing here? Well, if we're gonna go to Uma, Nova, I mean technically you've been the lucky mustard, aka the show off of Uma over the past like over 2 years. So I don't know what you're talking about here, Nova. I don't know what you're talking about here, Nova. Technically, and then the junior mustard slash show off would be Kazuki, but for his alt account. That's why he's just a junior show off, because his alt account is popping off while his main account is suffering. Only when it comes to the pulls. Obviously, when it comes to accounts, well, then his main account would obviously be better. But when it comes to pulls, then his alt account is definitely the show off. Plus, I don't see a whole point of getting mad over NTE pulls because it's guaranteed. It all just depends on how it goes towards the end. Basically. And then Nugent says, you are always competing to show off, even not ask. But judging by how you're saying it, Eugen, it wouldn't be the first time, so you either get used to it like I have, or you either keep getting bothered by it like you are. So what's it gonna be, Eugen? You're gonna keep letting it get to you, or you're gonna just let it be part of the norm? Because it's been a while. It's definitely been a while, Eugen. I don't see a point on letting it bothering you, if it does bother you. I don't see a reason to keep letting it bother you. If he's literally just letting us know how his pulls went. Yes, once in a while he will come in and act like a show off, but that's just the way Nova is. Just like how Nova, I would say something and it would just be him. He'll hear it and then it'll just completely disappear, and then he'll comment about said thing that I talked about, and then I'll be like, bro, I said that. It's just something you get used to. It's just something you get used to, and something I'll just keep calling out because I got used to it. So yeah, it doesn't bother me, Eugen. I'm gonna just say it's a you thing at this point. Nova says, you do keep mentioning it, so I just do it for your amusement. That is true. That is true also. If someone did keep mentioning something, why would I stop at the same time? Well, we're just going in general for our pulls, especially if we play the same game like NTE. I don't see why Nova wouldn't share his pulls, because then obviously if he didn't share his pulls, I would end up asking, and then if he ends up responding to me asking, and then you, Eugen, end up saying he's showing off because he's responding to me with his pulls, then what's the whole point? What was the whole, or how does this clear up? How does this clear up if Nova's not even safe to mention his pulls from you, Eugen? But anyways, Eugen responded and just said K. You know how you just get left with a single response on text. That's that's what Eugen did. That's what Eugen did to Nova there. The one single response where you just sit there and like, how do I respond to this? Easy. You don't. So thank you, Eugen, for the comment, and Nova for replying. Appreciate it as always. And lastly will be just comments from Nova, which I'll reply just to see if any newer comments did come along while I record, but it doesn't seem like it. So these last batch of comments are going to be from Nova as we head towards the senior year, unless we're already there. We're heading towards the senior. First one says, I've been to a few anime conventions in the past, but I am pretty much free to play. I don't really buy merch since I still prefer them to be digital. But are you technically free to play in anime conventions if you technically paid to get in there? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so if you say that me buying skins makes me not free to play, so if we're talking about pure not spending but still enjoying game said convention, unless you went into the conventions for free, then yes, you're free to play. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. Especially if you're gonna say I'm not free to play because I buy skins. But I don't really buy merch since I still prefer them to be digital. I'd rather have this jacket than digital furniture in Girls Frontline. Just saying. Just saying. Just one example. I'd rather have this jacket over digital furniture. Heck, any of the shirts I got, because I did buy the Miyabi shirt. I did buy 2 other shirts and some other stuff, but I'd rather have them where I can enjoy them in person, appreciate them in person. Heck, I'll buy real furniture rather than digital furniture, because I could use a nice corner display cabinet so I can display more things. Which would probably cost $2, around $2 if I were to just buy it off Amazon. So yeah. Rather than swiping for furniture that's digital in a gacha game, I'd rather just get me an actual piece of furniture that will be useful for me in real life. But I don't think you're free to play if you paid to go to these conventions. Just like how I paid for skins. How you said that still doesn't make me free to play, so fair is fair, right? Fair is fair. But for Eugen, no easy swipe. He needs to get a better job at SpaceX or something. Only then will he and I be swiping buddies. I just thought by now he'd probably find a job that doesn't require him to commute like 6 hours a day. If I'm remembering correctly, where he said it was like 3 hours back and forth. It could be less, a little less, or a little more, honestly. I don't know if he made improvements to that, where he decreased it to maybe 2 hours a day. Somehow, some way. If not, then I still question it on why he hasn't probably found a closer location, maybe, for him to work at. But That's all on Eugen. That's all on Eugen. Honestly, we haven't really gotten an update from his job or whatever, or an update from him from his job or whatever. So I'm just assuming he still works at the same spot. I'm gonna just assume he still works at the same spot since he hasn't really given us an update on whether or not he still works there or made any improvements on his commute. Although he did mention that he did wanted to buy a bike, I think a gravel bike to be more specific. But never got an update on that, really. So I'm just assuming he's been doing the same commute this whole time. That's what I think, at least. It's just easy fonts for the first 10 or so, and then switch to the rocks in the last 5 pulls for the bike. Well, I'm down to 2 mil fonts now. I'm doing the daily lottery event, and boy, this event really raises my tycoon level by a lot. I would recommend doing that event daily. Daily lottery event? Are we talking about the same thing Eugen was talking about? Or what? I probably should check the events again after, just to see what you're talking about. You might be talking about the same thing. But honestly, I lost money in that lottery. So I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel. But yeah, I mean, if you use fonts for the first, or for majority of the pulls, if you can, or at least half, you should be able to get the rest, get the bike with the rest with Annulith if you have Annulith, which you should if you didn't prioritize, if you didn't pull for Chaos, or you still have leftovers if you pulled for Shinku. Unless you didn't pull for Shinku, then you should definitely have Annulith to use for the bike if you've been playing the game, like the events and all that, at the very least. At the very least, that's what I would assume. But yeah, no, Shushu, that's not gonna change for Eugen. He's gonna pull on everyone regardless. This is just his thing, after all. I don't think he pulls that for everyone. Like he literally said he pulled on the Chaos banner to increase his pity, which, like I said, doesn't make sense. But it's fine with him because he's fine using Chaos, so that's fine. But I don't think he pulls for everyone. Doesn't seem like it, at least. Even in Zenless, even though it seems like every time he pulls, it doesn't go too well. It still doesn't sound like he pulled for everyone. I mean, we can't really use Zenless as an example because in Zenless, we pretty much nearly pulled for everyone. So, is it really something to compare? We're in Zenless, heck, even in Wuwa, nearly pulling for every character. Is it really something to call out Eugen on? He may have pulled for Chaos basically for fun at that point. But does it make it any different than you pulling for Brent in a way? Still pulling for a dude regardless. And if he's using it and if he's using Chaos perfectly fine in his team and then he's clearing content with Chaos, is it really any different than you pulling for Brent? I don't think so. You can't say he's gonna pull on everyone regardless when you literally pulled for everyone in 2.0 in Wuwa. And then you proceeded to pull until literally Sigrika and Luke got released was when you stopped. And Wu was so. Is it really something to call out Eugen on that he pulls on everyone regardless? This is just in general. I'm not talking about because you can do it and he. Because you can swipe and he doesn't swipe. Does it really make a difference though? Does it really make a difference though? It does, but like, does it really make a difference on whether on the characters he pulls on and we pull? Because it's pretty similar if we think about it in Zenless terms. But you can't say he pulls for everyone regardless if you went on a streak in Wua. A pretty long streak in Wua, pulling for everyone. Basically, so. In Eugen's defense, as earlier I defended you from Eugen. In Eugen's defense, we kind of pull for nearly everyone. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised if Eugen nearly pulls for everyone also. Because then we're doing the same thing, aren't we? So in Eugen's defense, we kind of do the same thing. We just miss banners here and there. Not entirely, but we miss banners here and there. But moving on, it's funny to think that the gacha skin is more free to play than the actual $30 skin. Well, your first part of this comment literally says it all. Gacha skin is by luck. I don't see how you can say that the gacha skin is more free to play than the actual $30 skin when you're literally paying $30 for a skin, which already takes it away from it being free to play. So it's kind of a weird comparison there. How you would compare a gacha skin, which you can get for free, to a skin that you have to pay 30. I don't think that's a fair comparison. I don't think that's a fair comparison. Obviously, the gacha skin is more free to play if you can get it for free. Where the $30 skin you have to pay $30. I think that's a pretty obvious thing, Nova. I say that because free to play has the luck factor, whereas dolphins such as myself don't have the luck factor. I think the difference is that you get a more premium skin if you pay. Well, I would think you would get a more premium skin because isn't the $30 skin like the dragon skin? Whereas, what was the Whereas the gacha skin was more of a... Was it more of a schoolgirl fit? I'm not sure, but it was something. So, there's literally the difference in there, like how obvious it is right there. I think there was a difference in Lacrimosas, but obviously it's a personal take. But for me, like, they made it obvious with the Shinku, specifically the two Shinku skins you're talking about. They clearly made it obvious on why this is $30 and why this is a gacha skin. I think they made it clear. I don't think, and obviously the two different skins look different. So at that point, it's choose what you want, right? So I don't know. I just feel like it's very clear that the gacha skin's more free to play than the actual $30 one. Because you could still get the gacha skin later on during a rerun, if I'm not mistaken. Because it obviously had built up since the first time. And you can still get it for free. So, yes. The gacha skin is definitely more free to play than the $30 skin Nova. Thank you for stating the obvious. Yeah, I got Baisang, and now the standard characters are all here. I actually have more people to fill up the cafe now. I just... I have Daffodil. That's still not everyone. It's still not everyone, so... It is what it is. Because I'm still missing Sakiri. Who else am I missing? Sakiri the only one? No, Fadia. And Fadia, I think. Sakiri and Fadia are the only ones I'm missing, I think. Unless I'm missing another one that I don't know. Unless I'm missing another one I don't know. Yeah, that's right. Am I missing another one that I don't know? No, I think that's everyone. I think that's everyone. Yeah, I'm still missing 2. But at least my Lacrimosa team has Daffodil in it now. That I'll be happy about, at the very least. That I will be happy about at the very least. Did some Wuwa holograms, and yeah, Sigil is impossible. He somehow recovers HP right before I can kill it and one-shots me. It's only like level 3 or something. Holograms are the traumatic stuff that I have to do for just a few rocks. It is. It definitely is. I mean, I knew about the whole Sigil thing because during the... I think it was the Somme Noir event. It had the Dream Fissure or whatever, the second one, the harder one, where it takes your save file from your Somme Noir event or whatever and use that account or that save file essentially to beat five bosses in a row. It was like Cardathea, Kelpie, Sigil was one of them. The thing is the god or whatever in Septimon. Forgot the name of that one. And then the 5th one was Dania. When I went against Sigil on level 3, I think, or was it level 4? Either or. When I brought his HP down to 0 and he recovered, I was like, huh? But I still beat him. I actually beat that whole thing all the way to level 5. So perfectly fine there. It just caught me off guard. But yeah, it is. The holograms is definitely the things we do for low rocks. I mean, even one of the other end games, the one with like 3-4 bosses or whatever, or where you could use like 3 teams or something like that. That one. That one I only use 2 teams to start off with, and then I think I use a total of 4 teams to finish off round 1. I didn't bother doing it, but that one barely gives any also. The one that gives the most out of all the endgame is the Tower Adversity, if I'm not mistaken. Because even Whimpering Waves doesn't give that much as Tower Adversity. But it is what it is. Let's just say Enfield's gacha is just too convoluted for the average man. Maybe it is. In the 26 or so gachas I've played, I had to look up exactly what Enfield's gacha... What is exactly Enfield's gacha, since it involves so many layers of BS. Speaking of which, I just finished a photo event, so I just have to do some side character events, and that's it. 1.4 will be hype, allegedly. I still need to finish the, I believe that the photo event is one of the things I need to do. And I honestly still need to try the, was it Contingency, the new endgame? I did try it. I did try the first one, and I gave myself the whole difficulty, like the max difficulty for that level. And honestly, I think I could have beaten it if I didn't get 1-2'd or 1-2-3'd. Because my Fangi died. There was no way I wasn't gonna clear that without Fangyi. So at least when I tried it that time, it was a Fangyi. I probably could do a Lavitain or a Mifu if I tried, but I feel like Fangyi is probably still my strongest team. At least that's how I personally feel. At least that's how I personally feel. Pity doesn't carry over just means that you better have self-control. Well, BA was 300 pity at the beginning of the JP server, so that wasn't good. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. That is pretty much what it is. If there's no carryover, you just have to pull when you want to pull. What can I say? To Kazuki, Wuwa is my Genshin. So I guess Kazuki's Wuwa is your Genshin. It's what you're trying to say. But is it the same as Kazuki where you put Genshin as your number one, even though you don't play the game? I still think I don't think it counts to add a game. Do you think it counts to say a game is your number one, even though you don't play it or give it the time? Just that shows you think of it as a number one. I just find it weird to say it is, but don't actually play the game. That's how I see it. That's why I feel like Uma is more Kazuki's game, because you don't just quit a game, come back to it when you want to, and say it's still your number one. I don't think that works. That works that way. I honestly don't think it works that way. For it to be number one, you would have to be playing it. You would have to be playing it. You would have to be talking about it here and there. But you can't say it's number one and you don't actually play the game. That's just how I see it. That's just how I see it. Because then it feels like it's not living up to what you're saying it is. It just feels like you're saying it rather than what you say, rather than you proving that it is your number one, because it doesn't look like it because you're not even playing it. That's why it looks weird to me. Or it feels weird to me to say that a game is your number one out of a certain amount of games, but you don't exactly play it. So it's like, it's basically at this point like Eugen saying Zenless is his number one game. Obviously it's not, but it's just a weird example that I'm using. It's like Eugen saying Zenless is his number one game, but he's basically quit the game. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. I can't say with the. I personally feel like. That if, especially if it's a current thing, current ongoing popular thing, for you to say that it's your number one and you don't play it, yeah, that raises red flags to me, saying, is it really your number one? Is it really your number one when you're not even giving it time to play anymore, even if it's just to do dailies and all that? Like, dailies don't even take that long in WUWA. That's one thing. Dailies don't even take that long in WUWA. You'll be there for a couple minutes, then you just have to do events and all that on the side. But is it really your number one if you don't spend time on it? I don't know. Moongaze is probably just NTE with Pokemon elements. I don't remember seeing Pokemon elements in Moongaze. It just looked like GTA with more transportation. As in, like, I think there was like an actual bike or skateboard, I think. I'm not sure. I know there's a bike shop in NTE, but You can't buy like a normal bike, I think, unless they updated that. Then again, that is on my radar. I thought about trying out Star Sailors, but then again, I had to catch up on Mongol. Is Star Sailors already out? I think I remembered you the last time you mentioned it. I said I was gonna try it. Is it already out? Oh, it's officially gone live. Oh. So it's been out. I just realized it is only on Apple and Google. So I would have to try this on either my phone or tablet. Okay. That might actually work for my tablet, actually. Alright, fair enough. Maybe that's how we differ when it comes to Cyberpunk. It is what it is. Cinderella Grey takes priority after all. And now 100 Girlfriend Season 3 and Tanya the Devil Season 3 are out. It's gonna get rough out here for the anime schedule. It's already been rough for the anime schedule since I'm not caught up with everything I want to watch with yet, so it's already rough. They put Chun-Li in tier 2, and that's an insult when the Fusion team is perfectly doing fine. Tier list itself is flawed no matter how many research gets put into it. The reason why I think tier lists are flawed is because it lets people know that it makes people feel that certain characters under a certain tier are useless. That's what it pisses me off about. That's why I don't truly care about tier lists. Like, yeah, I'll look at it. I'll see what people think. But that's all it is. It's just see what people think. Because at the end of the day, there's still characters that I will be using from the lower tiers that people are most likely like complaining about or whatever. So, yeah. Like Zenless, for example, as I'm in Pridwin right now. Like the off-meta characters, most of them are obviously the A-rank characters, but Caesar's honestly still a dang good support character if I had to use her. She basically takes away the interruption when you're trying to do your attacks and all of that for a while, provides a shield, and also gives an attack buff, which from what I remember. So I don't see how that's bad. It's just in comparison to all the other stuff, obviously, she might lack compared to them. Or let's go to the meta characters where people, or most people, if they're not in tier 0 or 0.5, people will start being like, oh, these tier 1 characters suck now. I still use Andy. I still use Evelyn here and there. Bernice I still use. Heck, I built Piper and she's still really good. Yanagi's really good. Vivian's really good, especially paired with Miyabi. Like, all of these characters are all still usable in many ways. So I just don't see how people can get pissed if they're in tier 1 or lower. Because essentially they're just saying, oh, if you're not at least pulling for certain characters or recent characters, you're basically screwed. That's what the tier lists are saying, which it's a total lie. You can go through clear stuff as long as you essentially build your characters appropriately. Like I've made this argument many times. You can complain all you want. At the end of the day, it's how you play yourself and how you built your characters, because how you built your characters is how your characters are gonna perform, I guess. Like you can't come to me complaining about your characters not being able to clear something, and then I look at your account and your setup is complete crap. Then I'm just gonna call you out and be like, bro, what's up with your setup? And then you're gonna probably give me some kind of excuse, and I'll be like, fix your setup first, then come to me. That's how I'm gonna see it, at least. Cat girls and fox girls are my weakness if we're just talking about pure furry fantasies. I could be on the same boat. Especially on the Fox Girls side. If it wasn't obvious with the whole Miyabi and Xiaoguang thing. Well, if you want me to add more to that, then there's obviously Yaimiko in Genshin. Also, I do like her. I do like her. So I would say, yeah, probably Fox. I think I'm on the same boat. I think I am. It seems that Mongol doesn't have a 50-50 either. That's what I was trying to figure out the whole time, because it did feel like it didn't have a 50-50. Or maybe it did. Because I'm trying to remember how I got the dupe for the ice character from the standard banner. I'm trying to remember, and I don't. So I guess it is what it is. And I'm not sure if the weapons are mandatory, so I'm just using something else at the moment. I'm just pulling for the weapons when I can. I did get the Verna. Now it all pretty much... I will try to get her weapon, but I'll also try to get Francis. I still find it weird how I just don't see Francis as a female name, but I know it's not the first time I've seen it used as a female name, but it's just, you know. And I think this is the last comment from Nova. It says, yes, I swipe so another free-to-play can breathe and complain on social media. True. That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it is. Most of the time, honestly speaking, it's the free-to-play players that are doing most of the complaining. Rather than the whales. If I'm going to be honest. Unless they're free-to-play players like me who generally just care about how I feel, I feel or how you feel about the game personally rather than what people think. Because personally, I feel like if you let what people think dictate whether or not you like something, you're nothing more than a bandwagoner. In my opinion. You just go with the flow. You just go with the people. And if that's how you are, well, do you really truly enjoy something? Is there something you really truly do enjoy that doesn't require the influence of others? But it is what it is. But it is what it is. But thank you, Eugen, Nova, Asta, and Uma JP and Joey for the comments. Appreciate it as always. And now here we are with the UA 5 Furioso. Better than I expected. Could have gone a little bit higher for stamina and power just to make it a 1600. And then obviously a little bit higher for speed to go to 22 and wise to go to 15. At the very least, it would have been most likely closer to a US, but an okay run, so to speak. No S aptitude also, but that is the first Furioso run also. And then tomorrow, like I said, we're just gonna go start preparing for the long distance CM. So we'll see who I train tomorrow. So with that being said, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys did make it this far, I do want to say thank you. If you guys can, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and let me know how you guys are doing with the new scenario. If you guys have started prepping for the CM, and if there's anything else you want to talk about or ask me, just leave it down in the comment section down below. As long as appropriate, I'll go over it. And like I said, I won't be posting global today. I'm just going to focus on global on my own and start posting global again next week. So for those expecting a global video, it won't happen. But if you guys haven't joined our Discord server, link is down in the description. And if there's anything else well, I already said that. But if there's anything else you want to talk about or ask me, just leave it down in the comment section down below. Sounds appropriate, I'll go over it. But with that being said, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you once again. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.